Hey there folks, we are back. Different place today just because filming when other people are home. Usually I'm doing this in the afternoon when no one else is home. So, hi. Today I want to talk about something that I may get some backlash for, and I'm prepared for that. Specifically surrounding queerbaiting. So, if you're unfamiliar with the term, here's what it is. Queerbaiting is creating this subtext or kind of like a silent promise of, hey, there's going to be queer rep, and then that draws in an LGBTQ plus demographic for something. And the most notorious thing for this is like Voltron Legendary Defender or Supernatural. So there is that entire build-up of like a, hey, queer stuff, but then there's no follow-through. And it's mainly seen in pop culture and media, but it specifically, I think, can be seen from the creators Dream and GeorgeNotFound. And this is not meant to send any hate towards either of these creators, as they are also like huge names, and I am here sitting with like 8,000 subscribers. It is something that I wanted to talk about a little bit because I saw some discourse back in August, and it's been like 6 or 7 months since then, and the Dream SMP has gotten huge, and so it is something that I just kind of wanted to talk about a bit. And both of these creators in their own right are super awesome. They've like done like fundraising and other stuff to support LGBTQ plus youth. They have pronouns in the bios, and they are doing their best to continually educate themselves. But I do want to still talk about this. If you haven't been on the internet, it's kind of common to ship real life people, which can get a little bit dicey. Dream and George are both adults, and that does play into it because if you're shipping minors who are real people, it don't. It's just creepy. They are both real people, and they have both explicitly stated that they're straight. However, in a lot of their videos, there is like this like playful gimmick of like calling each other gay as like a, oh, you like me type thing. And it's not something that's like a one-off joke. It's an ongoing gag, also among the fan base, saying like, "Hey, you should tell each other you love each other," and like, yes, in a platonic way. That's super cool and awesome. Like, absolutely. When you have this repeated thing, it kind of leads to this expectation of like, oh, something's gonna happen eventually. The biggest thing why I feel like this falls under queerbaiting is because, like, they have both explicitly stated that they're straight, and this bit that they have of, oh, you love me so much you couldn't live without me. At the end of the day, they're not going to have to feel the repercussions of that. If you Google DreamNotFound, you're going to find fan fictions, fan art, animatics. If you do it on YouTube, you're going to find like Dream and George being gay for each other compilations. In the future, one of them or both of them may come out, but at the moment that I'm filming this video and releasing it, they've both explicitly stated that they're straight, and that's why they feel comfortable making these jokes, like making fun of each other in this way. And while it is all in good fun, they don't have to deal with the repercussions that living that life comes with. When I was in 8th grade, I was walking with somebody on a sidewalk. I had just cut my hair short, and from afar I looked like a butch lesbian. The person I was with was femme presenting. We were walking down the sidewalk, and it was a little bit late out, and jokingly I put my arm around them. Just like a, oh, you're gonna get cold type thing. And a car driving past honked at us, and I very clearly looked young, as did the other person in that situation. Like, we were the only people there, so it was clear that we were being honked at, and I'm 95% sure it's because they thought we were a lesbian couple. I was like, oh, heh. And that, especially at 14, it's the sort of thing that sticks with you. Or hearing slurs. I've had this commented on my videos before. At the end of the day, those creators aren't going to have to face those repercussions. They're not going to have to go out into the world and put a mask on who they are for the comfort of others. They never have to go through hardships with like coming out or not being okay in a certain space because of who they are. I make gay jokes with my friend group because all of us are queer. And like we all like joke about it like together because that's the friend group of who we are. But we also are all coming from that queer experience. So it's a little bit different than when you have two guys who are straight making gay jokes towards each other of like, oh, you love me, you couldn't live without me, say you love me, and just little stuff like that. Because in a way, it can definitely be considered queerbaiting. Because despite explicitly stating, like, yeah, we're straight, they're still encouraging shipping them. And, like, yes, like, fan art and other stuff is super cool, but when you have a mainly young fan base, like, their explicit fan fiction being written by minors. Like, I wrote fan fiction about Ouran High School Host Club when I was 12. I will happily admit to that. Especially when it's real people who have explicitly stated that they're straight multiple times, and at the end of the day, they're not going to have to face those specific hardships. It feels queerbaiting because they put on this act, because at the end of the day, that's what it is. It's an act. It's a gimmick, because they know it gets views, because you see the compilations, a lot of them have like near 1 million views of Dream and George being gay for each other for 10 minutes. And it hurts a little bit to see, because it's like these two people are getting popular because of this behavior when I have been shunned for it, been called predatory for it. I got 1 or 2 comments of like, that's weird, that's not right, it's not natural. They're not gonna have to face those repercussions. It's like a broken record. By throwing in this gimmick and this act, it's like kind of like Castiel and Dean with, they keep having these sorts of jokes, but you know that nothing's gonna come of it. And it draws in that queer audience who are like, something for me, maybe, and it really isn't. It's just people joking around, having fun, which you're allowed to do. However, when it's at the expense of a community that has faced so much shit and is still criminalized in like many different countries, it feels a little bit off. And once again, I just want to say no hate towards Dream or George. They're both amazing creators, and I haven't noticed it in a lot of their recent videos, but it is still something that I want to address. Like, yes, they have like, they're constantly learning and evolving as people, which is super cool, but when you have an ongoing joke like that, it begins to make it feel like my sexuality is a bit more of a joke and just something that is meant to bring in views of like being cute, as opposed to being called slurs by people I know or hearing slurs around me. So that's just something to take with a grain of salt. I consider the ship DreamNotFound queerbaiting. It's not like it's their Dream SMP characters that they play. It's the genuine people themselves, and even if they're playing characters of themselves while streaming or in videos, it doesn't sit entirely right with me just because they continue to encourage it. Like, yes, absolutely have your creative process. If that's something you want to do, that's awesome. But if you continue to encourage it, people are going to keep expecting that something's going to come out of it when it's not, and you keep drawing in that queer fan base with a promise of something that's not there. That's just my 2 cents on it. There's definitely more to explore. You can find stuff on the web if you want to look into it. It's just something that I wanted to bring up, because I don't think I'm the only one who sees it this way, but like, if you don't, then that's alright. This is just my personal view that I kind of wanted to put out there. If you have any thoughts, feel free to leave them in the comments. Please don't send me any hate for this. This is just my personal view. I'm not trying to send hate to any creators or say like, hey, you're a horrible person. It's more just like feels a little bit off. Please think about the next time you do something. People are still learning and growing, and if this can be used as a learning moment, then I hope that's what it can become. And just like, please don't be an ass in my other videos because you didn't like this one. I make educational content for queer teenagers. If that's not the space for you, then you don't have to stay. If maybe this wasn't your cup of tea, but you're interested in exploring more of my content, I encourage you to do so. You don't have to subscribe. If you want to, that would be super cool. If you enjoyed anything or want to check out other stuff on my channel, please consider subscribing. Check out a video. It'll be posted somewhere near my face. And that's all for now. So, see you kids on the flip side.